Hey guys, welcome back to Route 66 Restoration Channel. Boy, look at this mess. This thing is rotten. You can see I got rotten toe boards. And then as you go across, you can see I got missing and rotten floorboards. It's all rotted off. Okay, so what do you do when you got rotten stuff and you don't have big pockets? It seems like I post on forums and the first thing I get, oh, they make this, buy a new one. Okay, and then they think because I own a 57 Chevrolet that I am a rich person and I got really deep pockets, and I don't. Truthfully, it's just not there. So what do? You get to make things your friends, okay? And you make patterns. Patterns, patterns, patterns. Look at this. Toe board pattern, dog leg pattern, pattern for the area that I just showed you, pattern for the inner floor brace, which I had to take off of that side, but look how rotten it is. So it's a pretty rough pattern, isn't it? Then when you make the patterns, you got to have your friends. Scissors, a magic marker, and some type of paper or poster board. I've heard it called in the Canadian videos Brista board. I don't have a clue what Brista board is, but I would grow up with poster board. So you have to make patterns, and when you make patterns, then you make the replacement part, right? So like this one here, this is a pattern for the up by the A-pillar. I haven't made that one yet, but I got it. I made the pattern. It's a part of the process. But then once you make your pattern, like this pattern here, right? Made out of old Mountain Dew box or something like that, Mountain Lightning maybe. But anyhow, you make your piece. You make your part to go in there. All right? But some basic tools that you're going to need, if you're doing this, number one, you need old Mr. Grinder. You got to have Mr. Grinder and a zip wheel. That's how you cut it out. Then, on top of it, you're going to need clamps. Some types of clamps. These type of clamps work pretty good. Okay? But then, you may need these things. Okay? And those are called Clecos. These have been kicking around my shop for a while. And Clecos take a fancy set of pliers like this. That's to put the Clecos in. You drill a hole, and they come from the aircraft industry. Very handy. Used them in stock car racing. Okay? But now, you can see on this pattern, I've made a bend. Okay? Well, did I do that in a break? No, actually I didn't. I did it with something I've had for years and years and years. They're kind of rusty, but they still work. And these are these vice grip flange bending pliers. I had a business that I bent aluminum for a living in the 80s and 90s. And I tell you what, I use these things every day, man. They are my best friends. They have made me more money than I can tell. That's why I keep around, even though they're a little rusty. They've seen worse for wear, but they work. And this is how I bent this flange, with good old muscle power in these pliers. So there's simple tools that can help you along and help you day to day when you're building this stuff. The question doesn't always have to be, or the answer to the question doesn't always have to be, buy a new one. Buy a new one. If you're trying to do things on a budget, the hot rodders in the early days, they didn't have access to parts. They were putting things together. That's why they were taking Cadillac engines and shoving them in a Model A. They don't. You don't have to break the bank to do a project. It's like building a house. When you build a house and you work on a house, they call that sweat equity. You have to create sweat equity, and you have to realize what you're working on. I could rebuild this whole car, make it a show car. That's not my goal. My goal is to make a driver. So, hey, take it easy, guys. Hope this helps you. Make sure you got your masking tape to make your patterns and your magic marker. This is the stuff you need. Take it easy.